Hello, hello. My name is Sharp Eyes,
And I am Crucifix.
and this is
WeCast.
where you cast. Wait,
No.
where we
Wait,
cast.
WeCast,
Yeah,
right.
we cast your games.
And you play them
Yes, and please send us your replays.
so that you can have them casted for free. And it's really easy to do.
Yep, you just have to send them to WeCastSC2 at gmail.com.
Go Gmail.
All
Because
right.
we
Yeah,
use Gmail because we're G's. That stands for gangsters for the uninformed. We're gangster StarCraft players. So.
we're not actually affiliated with any gangs, by the way.
True. Like for legal purposes.
All right, let's get started. Let me go ahead and
Okay.
switch the camera here,
Okay.
and we will begin.
Sweet.
Game resumed.
All right, spawning in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, we have our Terran player, red Terran player actually, Hrob.
Hrob. And in the upper left-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss Snollebol.
A very fun name to say actually.
Yeah, Snollebol. I like
Snollebol.
Snollebol.
So Crucifix, do you like to bowl?
I like to bowl, but like I'm very bad at it. And the thing is, like, I really like to drink beer while I bowl. But bowling is one of those sports where, at least for me, the more I drink, the worse I get at it. So I already start out bad, and then as I drink, I get worse and worse. So like I always end up with like a sub 70 score, which is pretty rough. Because
Sounds
that's like an average of like 3 pins per whatever bowl or whatever the bird is there.
sounds pretty rough actually. I mean, even blindfolded, I can bowl at least 205.
200. Wow, that's pretty. You like? I feel like that's something that you're gonna have to back up later on because I do not believe you in the least bit.
Well, you better believe it, cause it's on.
It is on. So whoever like you have to score at least better than twice my score for you to win. That's the game we're gonna play, and we will let you know what happens.
Absolutely, indeed.
Indeed.
All right, so it actually does look like our Terran player here is going for a double gas opener. Crucifix, what do you make of this?
Well, this is really interesting because he got this first gas before he even got his barracks. I think he might have gotten. I actually, if I like looking at it now, I think he got his barracks, then he got the gas, and then he got his second gas. And I think what he's doing here, especially because he only put 2 people on this one, I'm assuming he's going to put one more SCV on this one as well to have 4 total. And I think he's going to be trying to get a very fast factory. And we could see anything from really early double factory into tank marine push to early Banshee cloaked Banshee play. So there's a lot of options open to him right now with this early gas. You don't usually see an early double gas like this, so this is going to be a very unique build from Hrob. And we do see a very early factory going down, so definitely some fast tech.
Fast tech, indeed. Back
What
to
do you
the
think's going to the Protoss player?
well, let's see. Back to the press fire. We actually do see that 2 gateways will be going down here and a 7x core, but this is actually a very peculiar build as he has not expanded yet. So
Do you think that he has put 5 on gas on purpose, or do you think he's forgotten the 6? Because I mean, it's very possible that he did this on purpose. Do you think? What do you think?
I honestly think that he might have it actually might have been an accident.
True, but at the same time, his gas is actually higher than his minerals right now. So I'm thinking, even if no, you're right because he did just see that he was missing one and put a third one on. But I really actually kind of liked the fact that he only had 2 on there because his gas was higher than his minerals, and I felt like he didn't need all the gas. But depending on what build he's going for, maybe he's trying to build a bank.
Absolutely. I mean,
He is going for. I mean, 3 stalkers already. That's a lot of stalkers to have at 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
absolutely. I mean, gas is very important for Protoss players in general, and Protoss players will usually go early gas if they're trying to go for a tech-heavy route or possibly just massing stalkers.
Definitely, and it is looking like we're going to have. It is looking like we're going to have a Marine Widowmine drop. Is what's going to happen here. He has his medevac ready. He has his second Widowmine wanting to build, but he is currently supply blocked, and I don't see any supply depots on the way as well. So it's looking
It
like
actually does look like one
Oh,
supply
you're
depot
right,
is
you're
on the
right.
way on the right side.
yeah, it is being built, so that's good. But it is unfortunate that he had to experience that supply block there. Now, he's probably going to go for the very popular one. It looks like he already has his medevac heading across the map with 2 Widow Mines and 4 Marines. And so this is a very popular drop because, especially against a Protoss player, the splash damage is actually exactly 40 damage, which is also the exact health of the harvesters of Protoss. So let's see if this does much damage. Is he able to bury those Widow Mines before? And it looks like does it?
Oh
wow,
my god,
that
looking
was
at the workers
rough.
killed count, we actually do
my
see
God.
21 workers have been
Oh
killed.
my gosh, that was very effective. He killed so many
Meanwhile,
foes.
the Protoss player is retaliating with a stalker push here.
He is, and I really feel like this was a one base all-in from the Protoss player to begin with. So we're gonna see
Oh my god, the stalkers
wow.
are inside the mineral line,
And he's
raining
not even
hellfire
responding to this
on
right now.
the SCVs.
It's looking like a almost a base trade scenario of sorts because the Terran player finally did pull his SCVs and he's going to move his expansion over. Probably just going to take that expansion right over to the Protoss base. I'm not really sure what is going to happen here. This is a very exciting game so far. You know, this has actually happened to me several times as a Terran player because I used to do this this Widowmine 4 Marine drop all the time. And actually, if you get your gas at 12 and you get your barracks also at 12, you only need 1 refinery and you can do the drop much earlier. But it is looking like he's going to float his command center all the way over to this Protoss base. The Protoss is not mining whatsoever. He only has 40 minerals, which isn't even enough to make 1 probe. So it puts when a Protoss goes to a one base all in like this is usually what happens, and it's looking like he is going to put those extra minerals that his probes were carrying back in the Nexus, so that he can have just enough minerals to build maybe 1 more Zealot. No, he doesn't have enough minerals to build anything except for a probe right now, and I don't think he's even going to get that off before this Nexus goes down. And so right now it's in a position where, yes, the Protoss does have a bigger army, but he will never ever be able to build anything else ever. So
Never ever indeed.
Right. And so like for the rest of the game, it's the Protoss has to kill the Terran army with what he has right now, because if he doesn't, and the Protoss and the Terran is able to start building anything again, more units, it's over. So what do you think's going to happen, Sharp Eyes?
Honestly, I think this stalker force may be able to overtake the Terran here, but those Widow Mines do insane amounts of damage and will be taking out 1 stalker per hit.
Yep, and with the splash damage, that did take down the shields, but really he needs to... No, the Terran player cannot take this fight at all right now. He needs to take his Marines and go. I really feel like that was a poor decision because there's no possible way he was ever going to kill those stalkers, and that was the only army he has. And unfortunately, he did lift his starport and move it over here to the lower right-hand side. But all of his barracks and production buildings were all killed, and now his wow, those Widow Mines are just the heroes of this game. He is going to try to kill this.
A planetary fortress does get
Yep.
created, and it looks like all hope is lost for the Protoss player.
Yeah, I mean, he has this one stalker, but this one stalker will never. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the GG was called, because this stalker will never be able to kill this planetary fortress, and these Widow Mines are still a big factor in this game. Wow, that was pretty. Oh, and there the last stalker goes down. That's GG. So, what an interesting game from both players. Um, that's actually happened to me many times before, where I will go over to the Protoss base with that 2 Widowmine, 4 Marine drop, and their entire army will be almost all the way to my base already because they're doing a one base all in, and the exact same thing happens. Um, I will I will realize what they're doing, know that I can't defend it because all of my units are over at their base, and you're just supposed to lift up your entire base and move it over to theirs because that's where your army is. Instead of bringing your army back, you just move your entire base to their base, and by the time that they get back over there, you've already cleared out everything of theirs, and you're able to hopefully defend. And when a Protoss does an all-in, he almost always comes over with almost no minerals. So if you're able to wipe out his economy, you're usually in a good spot to be at an economic advantage where they can't build anything and you can.
Absolutely. All right. Let's go into the post-game analysis screen here. Crucifix, what do you think the Protoss player could have done better this game?
Well, here let me quit this replay for a second. Here, look at this post game analysis. I think that if the Protoss if well for an all in's always going to be risky, and a stalker push like that is very, very, very strong against a fast expanding Terran. But I think what the Protoss did wrong is he didn't scout the Terran enough to realize that the Terran that he was not doing any sort of fast expand. He was doing an early aggression, early drop into late expansion. And if he had realized that earlier, he could have still gone for his very aggressive push. If he had scouted enough to know that the Terran wasn't expanding, he could have kept just a few units really. Even 4 stalkers maybe back at his main base would have been enough to at least contain the Marines, at least kill the Marines, so that he couldn't kill his Nexus and all his probes. Because once he killed all his probes, that was it. That was basically game over because he couldn't build another one. And I think that even with a smaller amount of stalkers that he had, the Terran player literally had no army. His entire army was in that medevac. So no matter how few stalkers he sent over to the Terran base at that time, it would have been enough. So I really, if he had scouted a little better, realized what was going on, and kept some units back at his base, started that robo, got the observer out, killed the Widow Mines eventually, then he would have been fine. But because he let his Nexus go completely, tried to base trade a Terran, which is never a good idea, he lost. Because base trading a Terran is extremely difficult because of their ability to lift up their buildings.
All right. And what of the Terran player? What could he have done better this game?
Well, what do you think? What do you think he could have done better? I feel like there are a few things, but I'd like to hear your opinion on that one.
Personally, I thought that the Terran player could have put at least one bunker back there to just hold off those stalkers, because the base trade didn't need to happen.
No, it didn't, and as a Terran player who has done this build before, for anybody who ever wants to try this out, it is a very, very good build against Protoss specifically because this early in the game they won't necessarily have detection yet, and it can be very powerful. But the way to do it is you get a 12 gas, and then you have to skip 1 SCV to get your barracks at 12 as well, and by doing that, you don't have to build 2 refineries, so you end up spending less money. You don't have to cut as many probes, and you end up with an earlier drop because you can put 3 guys on gas instead of 4. You don't have to spend as many minerals for your refinery, and you can get your factory literally like right after your barracks is done building. So you get your refinery, and then you get your barracks, and then right after your barracks is done building, you can start your factory, and you can start producing Marines. And as soon as your factory is done, you build a starport and a reactor on your factory. And as soon as your starport's done, you can build 2 widow mines with the reactor factory and 1 medevac. And once those are all done, you put them in the medevac and you send them over at about 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Whereas the Terran in this replay sent his drop over at almost 6 minutes and 30 seconds, which is a full minute later. Much later, it was a much later drop, and he was lucky that the Terran player didn't have any. And he was lucky that the Terran player was the Protoss player was going for an all-in, or else he probably would have had an observer out already, and the drop would have been completely nullified. And so I think that's really what he could have done, and it sets you up better for the future because you already have a reactored barracks in which a reactored factory in which to build, double Hellbats, double Widow Mines, all these units that are super effective against Protoss, and you already have a reactor in less time than it would have taken you to get 2 Widow Mines out one by one.
Indeed, indeed. That was quite a detailed analysis of both
Yeah,
players.
I just like it was surprising to me because I haven't seen this replay yet, and I was excited to see it because this is something I know a lot about because I've done this exact build. This used to be what I did was that double Widow Mine for Marine drop, and this is one particular replay that I feel like I know a good bit about.
And yeah, so it looks like things worked out very well here for the Terran player.
Yeah.
But have you ever landed your command center and turned it into a planetary fortress at their base?
No, and that was one thing I was going to mention. I thought that was really smart because I have brought my command center over to their base, but for whatever reason, I've never thought, hey, why don't I turn this into a planetary fortress? And that can only help because it takes a pretty good army to kill a planetary fortress, especially if you have SCVs repairing it. And anything less than a significant force, and you're going to be pretty set to go with just some SCVs and a good reliable PF.
Good old PF chains.
Yeah, PF chains, planetary fortress chains.
All right, all right. Well, that was a very fun game to cast, and
For sure. I think the analysis was longer than the game itself. But anyways, I guess we'll sign off.
Yep. My name is Sharp Eyes,
And I am Crucifix.
and until next time, keep on playing.